size Chuck.
What's your take on Elise Stefanik potentially running for New York governor? New York City's mayoral race is grabbing all the headlines, but upstate voters like me are eager for a leader who prioritizes the whole state, not just Long Island. Jeff from Owego, New York. Look, before Tuesday night, Jeff, I would have said I think Kathy Hochul's one of the more vulnerable Democratic incumbents in the country and governors. Now, I'll tell you this. I think the most difficult thing to do is to oust an incumbent governor in politics. The only thing more difficult is to oust a sitting president. Now, when you're seeking a third term, I think all bets are off when it comes to governorships. But when you're seeking a full second term, and in this case, that's kind of what she's doing, I think she's going to be tough to beat. Now, a lot's going to be how far to the left does Hochul have to run to survive her primary, right? She's going to get primaried. And what is she? I think she ends up winning her primary. I don't buy that she can get knocked off because I'm old enough to remember when Kathy Hochul was a surprise victor in upstate New York in a special election for Congress. So I think the fact that she's not a New York City Democrat is a benefit to her, potentially. But before Tuesday night, I think Stefanik's going to be very competitive here. Given what we saw around the country, I am not at all bullish on any Republican. I mean, bring back George Pataki, and I don't know if this could go well for Republicans in New York. I think this is going to be tough. Again, I go back to, can Stefanik get enough distance for Trump? Can she sort of pivot back to who she was before Trump, right? When she was that sort of very more traditional New York Republican that was, a bit more moderate on cultural issues, more on the fiscally conservative side, very much the George Pataki model, or the Al D'Amato model of Republicans in New York. And I think that when she's not, it's funny about Stefanik. I think she does MAGA terribly. I don't think her pivot to Trump has been very credible. I have gotten the sense that she's slowly trying to get back to her old persona. I think she realized that what sucking up to Trump gets her, she got treated like garbage when it came to this appointment and then non-appointment to the UN. I think she feels pretty put upon in some form or another, certainly marginalized unfairly. I think, Trump promised her leadership position back. And of course, Mike Johnson goes, what leadership position? So that disappeared, right? So, again, I just think that it may be that the political weather is just too blue for any Republican to win. But a lot of this, I personally think Lawler would be a stronger candidate than Stefanik. I think Lawler has sort of cleaner, sort of slightly more independent Republican hands, meaning he's not considered very Trumpy, and has a bit more credibility on not being, as Trumpy as Stefanik, which is, you got to sort of walk that line, I think, in order to get the base not to reject you, but at the same time become appealing to swing voters. So I think this primary, what does Hochul look like out of this primary? How far to the left does she have to move? And, she's going to be feeling, she's going to find herself very involved in New York City politics because some of the things Mamdani would like to get done, he's got to do through the state. So it's going to mean he's going to be putting pressure on her. That could put pressure on her in a primary. That could, so I think there's a lot of state and city politics to play out before we can truly assess how vulnerable Hochul could be in a general election. But I will tell you this, if this is the weather we're going to have in November 2026, I don't know if Michael Bloomberg as a Republican again as the nominee for governor would be able to win in an environment like this. Having good life insurance is incredibly important. I know from personal experience. I was 16 when my father passed away. We didn't have any money. He didn't leave us in the best shape. My mother, single mother now, widow, myself, 16, trying to figure out how am I going to pay for college. And lo and behold, my dad had one life insurance policy that we found. It wasn't a lot, but it was important at the time. And it's why I was able to go to college. Little did he know how important that would be in that moment. Well, guess what? That's why I am here to tell you about Ethos Life. They can provide you with peace of mind knowing your family is protected, even if the worst comes to pass. Ethos is an online platform that makes getting life insurance fast and easy, all designed to protect your family's future in minutes, not months. There's no complicated process, and it's 100% online. There's no medical exam required. You just answer a few health questions online. You can get a quote in as little as 10 minutes, and you can get same-day coverage without ever leaving your home. You can get up to $3 million in coverage, and some policies start as low as $2 a day. That would be billed monthly. As of March 2025, Business Insider named Ethos the #1 no medical exam instant life insurance provider. So protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/Chuck. So again, that's ethos.com/Chuck. Application times may vary, and the rates themselves may vary as well. But trust me, life insurance is something you should really think about, especially if you've got a growing family.